Good morning. Good morning. I see I got two. I don't know who the two are, but if you would say good morning, let me know you're there. I got two. I only need one more. Then we'll move on. Well, good morning, Charmaine Simpson. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We just need one more. One more. And even if we don't get it, I'm going to go on and do what I got to do. I don't have time to play with these people. I got things to do. Things to do. Things to do. I don't know why my shoulders always look like one up and one down. I'm gonna get some different glasses because these do not fit this hairdo. Make me look like a bobblehead. Yes, ma'am. I had to do it. Yeah, I love this color. It don't last long, but I love it. 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 All right. As always, what I do is I say good morning at the beginning of the live. Good morning to everyone. If I do not call you out during the live, it is because I am trying to take this for my radio show. So good morning to everyone. If you're watching the replay, if you come in late, good morning. Thank you for being here. I always start off with the announcements. The biggest announcement that I have is the Sean Moss Wellness and Growth Angel Tree that we need donations for. We need to fill 50 duffel bags. Y'all see this? This is the duffel bag. This is it. And we need to fill 50 of these. And I'm just going to be honest with you right now. We don't have enough to fill one. But guess what? I'm a believer. I'm not a beggar. I'm a believer. I'm not a beggar. So either way, listen, the angel tree is 6 years old, baby. Six. And it's going to be older than that. I promise you. But we need you can go to our Sign Up Genius. It is on our Facebook page, Sean Moss Wellness and Growth Facebook page. You can go to my page and find the links. And we also have an Amazon wish list that we are trying to fill. I know things are different. I know everything is up. I know people have to readjust their budgets. And so that should let you know as well, those that are in need are even more so in need now at this time of the year. I know it's the most wonderful time of the year. That's what they say. It's the most wonderful time of the year. So I'm asking you to help make someone else's time of the year beautiful as well. The reason I did the angel tree is because I feel like everyone deserves a good experience at this time of year. Everybody deserves a great experience at this time of the year. So we go into the community, we take these resources, we give them a meal, we have gifts, we give them household products. All of those things is what we do for this time of the year. It's not just toys and games, and it's not just that. It is household products, things like laundry detergent, things to clean your house with. You have the duffel bag that's going to be full of things that you need. It just in case you have to move quickly, you can drop your personal items down in that. Last year, we filled those bags with blankets, pillows, and sheets, along with body care items that you would need. We do the duffel bags because there comes time sometimes when you don't have time enough to pack a lot of stuff, but if you have something that you can put some stuff in until you can get to your next destination, that helps out a lot. And that's what I was told about the duffel bags, that they help out a lot. So if you would help us to fill a duffel bag, that would be great. Again, when you come on the live, my thing is good morning to everybody. because when I go into the encouragement part, I won't stop, call out names, say good morning, because I'm using it for my radio show. So I start at the beginning. Good morning to everyone. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here. And if I don't call your name out on the live, well, I don't know what to tell you, honey. If you just came here for me to call your name out, that's not good. That's not good at all. But I do ask you to share the live. I do ask you to share the links for the Angel Tree. We try to get stuff done. We'll look at it again by December the 1st to see what we need. I'm just being honest with you today. Where we're standing now is nowhere where we were last year. Absolutely. My living room is usually running over by November. It's usually November 1st on through those weeks. My living room is usually running over. We have enough to fit in one corner. That's what we got. But again, I'm a believer. I'm not a beggar. Okay? They say you have not because you ask not. So I'm asking. But just know, anything I put my hand to, it worked. That's what it is. Okay, so those are Mondays at 6 o'clock. You already know I am on Envision Radio. I'm on Envision Radio every Monday at 6 o'clock. You can go to envision.radio.com and download the many apps that they have or ways that you can listen to the radio station. You can go in your app store and get the Envision Radio app. So, and I get a report of how many people listen to me on a consistent basis. And I am just, listen, I'm just excited. I am just honored that people will listen to me because, you know, some people don't get that. Okay. So with all of that being said, thank you again for being here. Thank you for everything that you have done throughout the year for the Sean Moss Wellness and Growth Foundation. Thank you for showing up on these lives to listen to what I have to say. And I always hope that I say something. Let me sit up straight. I always hope that I say something that will encourage you or build you from where you are to where you're going, to give you another way of thinking about it so that you can move through this life with its twists and turns. So with that being said, this is what I want to talk about today. You're better off without it. Let me say it again. You're better off without it. Whatever the it is. You have to decide what is that song that you keep playing in your mind. If I coulda, woulda, shoulda. If you thought back on relationships that you no longer have, I come to tell you today, you're better off without it. I come to tell you today, that job that you thought you wanted, that paid those bills and that money looked real good, you're better off without it. I was pulling my trash can in yesterday and I began to think about where I am in my life. I'm a single woman, moving through life. I'm not upset that I'm single. I'm not devastated that I'm single. I was just thinking about some things and some relationships that I had been through. And I, if you allow it, your mind will go to that you were not good enough. But let me tell you something. The devil is a lie. You were good enough. You learned some things and you're better off without it. Some of the things that you went through, you're better off without it. You're better off without it. Listen, even if you're shopping and you didn't get it and you go back and it's gone, baby, it's probably because you're better off without it. You're better off because you're in a better place now. Yes, it looked good. Yes, it tasted good. Yes, it felt good. But baby, you're better off without it. You're better off with being talked about. You're better off with having your low self-esteem pushed that much further down. You're better off without him saying you'll never be nothing. You're better off without that job where you couldn't be with your family. You're better off without it. Some of y'all ain't gonna like it. Some of y'all still thinking about, well, what if I could get it back? And what did they do to me? And how can I fix it? You don't need to fix it. Your word for today is you're better off without it. You better off without it. You better off without overeating. You're better off without going to those places that you used to go to. You're better off without that addiction. You're better off without that medication. You're better off without it. Come on, somebody. Listen. You're better off with those friends that only used you. They only talked to you when they needed something. You're better off without it. But I'm alone. So what? You're alone. You're alone with you, and you can build you to become the person that you're supposed to be. Baby, everything that you thought you needed wasn't going to help you to get to where you are going right now. You're better off without it. You're better off with without that car payment. You're better off without that mortgage. I don't care if they did talk about you losing that house. I don't care. You're better off without it. See, you looking at it all wrong. You looking at it as a loss. You got to look at it as a gain. See, because now you have more time to work on you in some of the situations. Now you're more financially stable. Come on, somebody, you're better off. You're better off without it. Whatever the it is, whether it's a him, whether it's a she, you're better off without it. Whether it's the shoes, whether it's a coat, you're better off without it. Why do I say you're better off without it? Because it was causing trauma to you. It was stressing you out. I don't care if it meant that you had somebody in your life. Baby, you got stress removed from your life. You better off without it. There are deals that people make and they have to make these deals and the money looks really good. But with listen, with more of anything comes more responsibility. You're better off without it. Some of you wanted a management position. You better off without it because you be stressed out. You had a heart attack and a stroke because you trying to prove something to somebody. You're better off without it. I'm better off. There's some things that I can look back at in my life and I can say I'm better off without it. Even being saved and going to some of the churches that I went to, I'm better off without it. Oh, you shouldn't say that about the church. Yeah, I should. I really should. Because some of y'all are so consumed with being in a certain place for a certain reason and a certain status that you don't know that it's taking you out. You don't know that you're frustrated. You don't know that you're mad all the time. You're better off without it. When you realize that you got to get away from some things, that you got to release some things. Listen, you're better off without it. You're better off without the relationship with your sister. If every time y'all talk, all y'all do is argue, you're better off without it. I don't care what they say about them being family. Listen, we didn't have a choice into the family we were born in, but we have a choice of the people that we allow to abuse us, family or not. You're better off without it. You're better off without it. You better off without him coming in your front door and having to leave out your back door. You better off without it. Oh, I know you may not be able to pay your electric bill. Well, baby, figure out a different budget because you better off without that. You're more than that. You got to understand you are worth more than someone coming around and listen, you being an option instead of a priority. You got to understand you're better off. You should listen. You have options when you have cookies. When it's a table full of cookies, baby, that's your option right there. When you go in McDonald's, you got a menu, you got an option. You go in Popeyes, you got an option. In restaurants, you got options. You should never be an option to someone that says they care about you, to someone that says they want your best interest at heart. You should never be an option, and you better off without it. You better off without dragging that one everywhere you go. You got to pay for everything. You better off without it. Better off without it. Listen, you're better off without depression. You got to figure out how to get up out of that. That's not the best. That's not the best thing for you. You're going to be better off without it. You're better off without trying to figure out how to take care of everybody else, and you don't even take care of yourself. Something that I said on a Zoom call that we did the other night is this: you cannot pour from an empty cup. Try it. Because all you pouring is empty. Nothing is coming out. Nothing. You're better off telling them that you can't come to every event. You're better off if you just start to build yourself and stop waiting for other people to build you, because I promise you, the platform that they build for you, the pedestal that they put you on, they have control of it, and they will knock it from up under you at any given moment. You're better off without it. You're better off being by yourself, baby. You're better off. If you got to worry about who in his phone and where he going and why didn't he call me, you better off, baby. I can tell you right now, I live at peace. Do I want somebody in my life? Yep. But am I going to put up with foolishness? Absolutely not. I refuse. You are better off without it. Well, I don't know how to deal with it. You absolutely don't, because you've been so consumed with something occupying every part of you. You're afraid to be by yourself. You're afraid to get to know you. That's why you got everything and everybody going on. You always doing something. The only time you ain't even by yourself then when you lay down sometime at night, because you got something else over on the other side. Baby, let me help you with something. You better off without it. If you going to bed with a headache because you got something laying beside you, you better off without it. If every month you got to figure out how you going to make this car payment and it's double the amount that you make on your job, let them repossess it. You better off without it. Well, how am I going to get to work? It's a thing called Uber, baby. Where your friends? Where they at? When you had a car, they can't give you a ride. That's what you need to be looking at. Where are they at? You better off without it. You better off without pornography. Good God Almighty. Woo! Help us, Jesus. You better off without smoking weed. You know what certain things do to you? It alters your thinking. It's like alcohol. It alters, and I just need something to settle me. Settle yourself. Deal with the issue. Ask yourself, why is it happening? See, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that, because then that exposes us. When we talk about us, it exposes us. It exposes what we need to work on. You better off without it. You better off without trying to keep covering up what happened to you a couple of years ago. You better off by telling somebody, because that's how you're going to get rid of it. By telling it, by speaking it out. So you can hear that you're better off with, yes, it happened. It most definitely did. It took something from you. Absolutely, positively. But baby, you better off by getting you a therapist and talking about it so that you can move and become the person that you're supposed to become. Listen, if you're going to keep singing that same sad song, don't you understand that it's going to keep you in a certain place? I can't do this because every time I do this, I think about, okay. All right. You see how it's holding you up? You see how you have allowed things to hold you hostage and not even ask for ransom? You better off without it. Look around and see what type of prisons are you in. The main prison you're in is the one in your mind. You sentence yourself to life with some things. You didn't even go before a court. You just said, this going to be for the rest of my life. This how it's going to be. And that's where you stay. You better off without it. You're better off without it. Deal with your issues. Deal with the truth, the facts. Stop pointing fingers at somebody else. No, you may not have had anything to do with it. You may not have had anything at all to do with it. But you're going to have to free yourself. It happened. Was it kind? Probably not. Absolutely not. Did they take something from you that you feel like you can't get back? They probably did. Did the ones that you thought were going to be there for you were not there for you, still not there for you, but you keep showing up for them? Yeah, you better off without it. You better off without it. I'm trying to tell you right now, you're better off without. Well, how you know I'm better off without it? Because I'm better off without it. I can talk to you about molestation, baby. Push my glasses up just in case y'all didn't hear it. I can talk to you about being lied on. I can talk to you about having broken relationships with your children. Listen, I'm better off without the argument. I'm better off without the confrontation. I'm better off with trying to figure out if you dead or alive when you go out in them streets. I'm better off without it because I've gotten into a place. I understand that there's nothing that I can do about the decisions that you make. But what I can do is pray for you. What I can do is love you from a distance. I'm better off without it. Well, that's your child. Gonna always be mine. Always. Me stepping away and stepping back does not negate the fact that they're my children. But I'm better off without it. You better off without it. I don't know. Somebody keeps playing this thing over and over in their mind. And every time you get to a certain place, you break down. You break down. And you call it, I take 2 steps forward, then I take 2 steps back. That's because you're better off without it. You got to release it. It happened. It happened. You're not going to get closure. They're not going to tell you why they did what they did. You know why? Because they don't even know why they did what they did sometimes. They're not going to take responsibility for it. So you got to understand that you're better off without it. If it means losing some friends, baby, that ain't, listen, I'm still living and I lost a friendship of over 20 some years. I'm better off without it. So I don't know. Listen, I don't have a clue. I just know somebody needs to release whatever it is that's holding you up. That same tape that you keep playing over and over in your mind. You keep reliving the actions of it. Listen, when you want to go into a bad place, that's the movie you put on. And then you put that movie on and you want to subject everybody else to the scenery that's in that movie. You want to tell everybody else, play by play and scene by scene, how it's affecting you and what it did to you and why you act the way you act. You act the way you act is because you don't want to let it go. You don't want to let it go. That's your crutch. You feel like you have the right to act a fool because this happened to you. You don't. You don't. You have the right to become better and not bitter. That's what you have the right to do. That's what you have the right to do. You don't have the right to manipulate people because certain things happen to you. You don't have the right to do that. You don't have the right to shout, scream, cuss, fight, argue because things happen to you. You don't have the right to do that. That doesn't give you a pass, baby. You're better off without it. Because you're going to keep on playing with that thing and you're going to end up somewhere where you shouldn't be. The mind is a terrible thing to waste. And you're wasting away. Keep playing it. Every time something go wrong, we used to have VCR. Some of y'all don't know what that is. You'll go put the VCR in the TV and you'll let that movie just play and play and play. Then if you ain't got a VCR, then we had DVDs. You put it in and you let it play and play and replay and you put it on repeat. Until you get so consumed with it that when someone comes to you and they're trying to help you or trying to make you feel better, you lash out at them. They don't even know you've been watching that movie. They don't know. They won't know why you acting crazy. You gotta want better for yourself. I don't care. I look back and it maybe even been a car that I used to have. And I was like, man, that was a good car. You better off without it. You're driving a better car now. Why are you going back there? Why? Relationships that you put your all into. I know I put my all into it because I just want to be treated right. And in some relationships, I wasn't treated right. And let me say this, in some relationships, I didn't treat people right. Oh, we're not going to talk about that right there, is we? We ain't going to say we didn't treat nobody right because we treated everybody right. You just a saint. You just saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost, filled, fire baptized, and running for your life. You don't never do nothing to nobody. See, some of this comes from what you did to other people. The scripture says, whatsoever you sow, that shall you also reap. So what I got because I gave it to somebody else. Oh, my. Now you in my business. You're exactly right. Tell the truth about the whole situation. You used to dog people. You were out there with somebody else's husband. You stole some stuff. You cussed people out. You talked about people's mother. You talked about people's kids. You gossiped about people. I don't know why people just keep talking about me. Well, ask yourself who you talked about. I don't know why I can't keep this job. How did you help to get somebody else fired? I don't know why they don't never pay me my money back. Did you pay back the money that you owe? You still owe people money. And you get smart with them every time you see them. Baby, you better off without it. You want to know why you ain't never got no money? Because you owe folks. I can't never keep no money. You have not paid people the money that you owe them. That's why you can't keep no money. That's why. Pay them folks what you owe. Pay them. If it ain't but $10, say this is all I have. But and listen, it ain't no thing of you done forgot you owe folks. You don't forget you owe the electric company. Oh, but you scared of them because you can't live without your lights. But when you went to that person and you asked them to help you and they did, I'm going to pay you back when I get paid. Well, obviously, you ain't never worked anymore or you don't have a payday. And then you have the audacity to get nasty about somebody else's money. It ain't your money. You owe them. You owe them. I used to get mad with the creditors. Don't keep calling here. What you keep calling my number for? Because you owe them folks. You owe them. That's why they keep calling. You said that you were going to pay them if they gave you this money. That's what you said. Now they calling you on that money. You want to get bigger to get off my phone. Who you think you are? Until I learned to take responsibility for what I did, I never moved in my finances. I didn't. I didn't. I never moved in my finances until I took responsibility for the things that I owed. Now I don't have creditors calling me no more. I'm better off without it. I don't have people calling me. Now I'm at a place in my life where if I get and this was my prayer. Lord, I want to be able to one day, as soon as the bill comes in my mailbox, I want to be able to walk in my house and pay that bill. That was my prayer. That was my prayer. And I'm telling you, I'm able to do that. I went out there yesterday. The water bill was in the mailbox. I walked right in the house, went to my computer, and paid that bill. My mortgage needed to be paid. I don't wait until the last day to pay my mortgage. I go first of the month, I'm paying my mortgage. I'm paying my mortgage. I'm better off without some things. I am. And so are you. That's all I got for today. I ain't got nothing else. You better off without it. I can tell you that. You're better off without it. Whether it's the past or whether it's the present, you're better off without it. Well, he walked out on me. He walked out on you for a reason. Stop playing that same song. You better off without it. I gave him everything. Well, that's the problem right there. You gave him everything. You better off without it. And that you don't have to be mad with people because they choose somebody else or they choose to do something else or they choose not to respect you. Don't be mad with them folks. You better off without it. What Maya Angelou said, when they show you who they are, believe them. Some of y'all, my mama used to say this, some of y'all don't believe snakes crawl. You think they walk. That's what she said. You don't believe snakes crawl. You think they walk. I'm telling you, you better off without it. You are. I am so grateful that I've learned some things in this life. Are there days when I wish I had someone, a companion? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But when I look back on some of the things that I've come through, baby, I'm better off without it. I did so many things that I may not have been able to do if I was caught up in a relationship that could not handle the things that I do. And I know for a fact, the person, when and if they come into my life, they are, listen, it ain't got nothing to do with what they can bring to the table. It ain't got nothing to do with how much money they got. It has nothing to do with what kind of car they drive. Baby, if they can't beat me on my knees and get to the throne room before I get there, you're not the one for me. Because I will light this house up at any given moment with a hallelujah, with the amen, with the scream, with the shout. So if you can't beat me to the throne room, I'm better off without you. Better off. Because I know what my God has done for me. You're not going to come in here and tell me we ain't going to do all that hollering and all that, baby. I'm better off without you. Promise you I am. Y'all have a great, great Friday. It's the end of the week. You are better off without it. Whether it's from the past or whether it's right now, you're better off without it. Don't take everything as you done lost. You haven't lost all the time. It's just that you're better off without it. You're better off without it. Stay out of your children's business, parents. Stay out of your children's business. Stay out of it. You didn't want your mama in your business. You didn't want your daddy in your business. So you stay out of your children's business. You better off without it. It's one thing I don't do in my children's lives is I don't take sides. I'm on the side of right. And if my son is wrong, I'm going to tell him he's wrong. I'm going to tell him he's wrong. I'm not taking sides. I'm on the side of right. Now, if you over here on the side of right with me, we good. We good. But I'm not doing foolishness. I'm not going to cover for you. I'm not going to lie for you. I'm not. My boys will tell you. Them girls will come here to see them and they be like, where they at? Baby, he just left out the house with such and such. And my middle son would get hot. Baby, he'd be boiling mad. Mom, you could have told him. I couldn't have told him nothing but what was the truth. That's all I could have told him. If you don't want me to know, don't bring him to my house. One girl, she walked in the door. I'm in love with your son. So was the one that just walked out the back door. She is too. If my son not treating you right, leave him alone. You better off without him. Parents, I'm telling you now, stay out of your children's affairs. Stay out. If they out there and they making bad decisions, you say, hey, if that's what but I just don't want him to go down the wrong road. He already going down it. What do you mean? He done made his decision. You thought he really came to you for your input. No, his decision is already made. He just want to make it so, well, I told you what I was going to do and you didn't even try to talk me out of it. And I'm not. You want to swing from the highest chandelier? Baby, go ahead and swing. When you hit that ground and break all your bones and I'm standing there looking and they ask me why, I'm going to say because he said he wanted to swing from the highest chandelier. His mind was already made up. Me telling him not to do it won't go make no difference. Because anybody that know if you swinging from something, it could break. Anybody know that. Stay out of your children's affairs. Stay out of it. Stay, if it's something that's detrimental to them, yeah, give them input. But you hooping and hollering and you are nope. Because their mind is already made up. If they wanted your advice, they would come and ask you for it before they made the decisions that they made. And stop making it easy for these kids. Stop making it easy for these kids. They didn't ask your permission when they went out and did what they did. They didn't pick up the phone and say, Mom, is it okay if I go out with this girl and we lay down and we do what we do? Is that okay with you? They didn't do that. They didn't do that. They didn't. So do not be convenient for them when they come and the decisions that they made, they want you to help them to get out of it. No, ma'am, and no, sir. But I love my child. I love mine too. But they're not going to bankrupt me. They're not going to have my emotions all over the place. They're not. The problem with us as parents is this. We were given our children to guide them. It said lead them in the right way. So when they grow old, they won't depart. Lead them. Guide them. Well, they just need a little bit of help with their electric bill for their apartment. They knew they were going to have an electric bill when they rented that apartment. But there you go in your 401k and your retirement, and you're going to give them the money for their electric bill. But what you think going to happen next month? Or maybe they'll skip a month and then they'll be back. Well, I ain't got it again this month. Oh, you don't? Well, I guess you don't have no lights. I guess you don't have no water. And stop letting them listen. I'm guilty of this one right here. They ain't do it too much, but they did. You're not going to come in my house and go shopping like you at Walmart. You taking my bathroom tissue, my dish soap, my laundry detergent. Mom, do you need this? Obviously, I do need it because I bought it. Obviously. But see, in their mind, they thinking, oh, she can get her some more. Like I got a laundry detergent tree out in my backyard. Y'all better stop giving these kids. This generation need guidance. They don't need another PlayStation. They don't need another Xbox. They don't need Madden. They don't need a new pair of shoes. They don't need another whatever it is that's trending right there now. They don't know the value of money, man. How many of you all are teaching your children the value of money? I wish somebody had taught me, because my retirement plan would be better than it is right now. But we gonna trust God that it's gonna get to where it's gonna get to. I'm not gonna be homeless, I can tell you that. But y'all got to stop giving these kids. Let your no be no. No is a complete sentence. When they get close enough to homelessness, I promise you they'll figure it out. My oldest son, well, I had to go out and steal because I didn't have, you didn't have to go out and steal. You went out and stole because you wanted to, baby. You didn't have to. No, you didn't have to go out there and steal. Nothing. Could have went and got a job. J-O-B. Job, not Job. Job. I tell my boys all the time, as long as you're helping yourself, I don't have a problem with helping you. But what you're not going to do is live in my house, eat 3 meals and a snack, use my water, my lights, and I'm getting up every day and I'm doing something. No, I don't care if you go sit on the corner, but you're not going to stay in here and do nothing. If you happen, listen, I understand I give them X amount of time when they come home. You got X amount of time to find you a job. I don't care if it's selling pop bottles. You got X amount of time to sell pop bottles. If you're only getting X amount, this is what you're responsible for. Period. Because you're not going to take all your money and do what you want to do with it and then come in here because you got a job. Well, I did get the job. Yeah, but you're not going to just stay. I don't take care of grown folks. I just don't. Maybe somebody else do, but I don't. The only time I took care of grown people was when I worked in a nursing home because they couldn't take care of themselves. But if you able-bodied, and like the old folks say, and you got the activities of your limbs, baby, I'm going to need you to go find you some work of some type of income. If you want to be a rapper, you better go find you some studio time because you're not going to sit in here and watch YouTube videos on how to be a rapper. That's what you're not going to do. I'm better off without it. Okay? That's it. Parents, y'all on my heart. Stay out your children's business. Please. I never wanted her to be. Okay. Okay. You never wanted her to what? You never wanted him to what? It happened. Don't stop loving them, but stay out of that business. Stop trying to control them. Stop trying. They know what to do. They know if they don't work, they don't eat. They know if they don't work, they don't have gas. They know if they don't work, they don't have nowhere to stay. They know all of that. But you've been giving them so much. You bail them out so often that that's what they do. I'm going to give it a couple of weeks. Then I'm going to call them and tell them my rent due. Okay. And I just paid my mortgage, so I don't know why you telling me that. And how I paid my mortgage was I had to go get some income. You better off without it. You better off without it. That's it. It's Friday. Y'all have a great Friday. I got some other stuff I got to do. Please do not forget the Sean Moss Wellness and Growth Angel Tree. Please do not forget our sign-up genius to help us fill these 50 duffel bags. We need all the support that we can get. It just makes it easier on the foundation. I don't have a problem with going into the funds that we have to make sure that we get what we need. But it's easier when we have help. It's much easier. So if you know of a business that would like to participate and join us in filling a duffel bag, please let me know. Please direct them to me. It don't cost a lot. It maybe costs, what, $25, $30 to fill a duffel bag? And the way I shop, baby, we can fill about 3 duffel bags. Because I know how to coupon and find the best deals. I sure do. But you all have a great day. Thank you for listening. If you listen, when you're going through making your decisions today and something does not work out the way that you thought it should work out, maybe you should say, I'm better off without it. I'm better off without it. All right. I love y'all. Bye.